I hate it when a woman I love apologizes for wanting to share a lot of information with me. I hate for what must have been done to her in the past, for what she must have endured, to think that anybody could ever hear what she's saying and not value it, or think that she was taking up too much of their time. She can never take up too much of my time. I hope she realizes that. I know she'll get that revelation in God's perfect timing. It's not easy to have a relationship, to have a friendship. Maybe a friendship is the best I can hope for. I'm grateful to God that I've got a friendship, that I don't have to talk to people who are ready for retirement exclusively, but I can converse with people who are a little younger than me. And I don't just have to limit myself to talking to people who are my own age. I don't have to limit myself to talking to people who are of the same ethnic background as me. I don't have to limit myself to talking to people who are of the same gender as me. I don't have to limit myself to talking to people who have the same musical preference as me, who like the same type of movies as me, who follow the same type of religion as me, because that may not necessarily be the most healthy thing for me to do with my life. God tells us to be in the world, not of it. It's better to spend most of your time with those who are your fellow believers in Jesus. But believe me, the Great Commission won't be fulfilled if we simply teach the found instead of reaching the lost. God paid the cost to be my boss. I'm feeling a whole lot of temptation coming at me when I'm on the internet. I'm wondering if I'm doing the wrong thing, giving too much of my time to this lady that I know that I shouldn't have wearing my ring. God, you help me to decide, you help me to determine what is wrong and what is right, when to take flight, when to stick around, how much of myself to give to each individual who is part of my life, whether or not to get involved with friendships with people at all, or whether to just let the opportunity to have a friendship with them slide, because I know I'm not strong enough. I know where I'm weak in certain areas. I know how easy it is for me to slip into a relationship, to slip into a mental headspace where I become obsessed with somebody, or I start to lose myself morally. I start to slide morally. I start to slide back into the person that I used to be. I don't want to be the person that I used to be. That's why I have to be constantly vigilant that I don't slide back. Lord God, I need your help every single step of the way, Yahweh. I'm so grateful for the blood you spilled for me. Thanks to you, I've got hope that lasts forever. My endeavor is to see the whole world have their eyes opened up to the truth of your existence. How can I maintain my resistance? You went the distance for me, you endured that cross, you were covered with your own blood. For the sake of the love of us, how could you love us so much? Even when we called you stranger and enemy, even when we were ambivalent about you, even if we actively opposed you. You still loved us. You want us to be in a relationship with you. You want us to put you first above all else. You don't want us to keep your secret, keep you to ourselves. You don't want us to hide that light under a bush. You are the one who helps us to push that holy agenda, not to be pretenders. Willingly I surrender my soul. You restore me and make me whole. You are in control of my destiny. Even if we live in a situation where you can't spread literature through certain companies, you accompany me. You have a way to make sure the truth gets spread all around the world. You rose from the dead. You are able to operate in any life. You give us dreams and visions of you. You've hidden eternity in our hearts. I must be kidding myself if I think that I need the tools of this world exclusively in order to spread your truth. I could do it without them, but I'm so grateful for them, for the internet, for companies that sell products that celebrate the freedom that you give us, who help those who are trapped in the darkness to find their way into the light. Turning goats into sheep, you weep rivers of blood, you weep rivers of tears of those who have been interfered with, those who don't know. You engineered them to be a certain way. Who don't know you engineered them in the first place? You were the intelligent designer of the universe. What could be finer than the way you have made us? You refine me with holy fire on a daily basis. I see you are constantly in the process of cleaning me, helping me to be a brand new me, different to the person that I used to be. Some may say I'm out of my tree. One day I'm gonna be out of this world. I'm gonna be walking on your golden streets. Yeah, forgive me for all the times when I cheat on you, when I beat on your name, when I don't declare the world of your fame, when I act ashamed of the gospel. You said if anyone is ashamed of me here on earth, I will be ashamed of them before my Father in heaven. I will say I never knew you. I don't want you to say that of me. I want you to say, well done, good and faithful servant. I've got to live a life of service. Be careful not to replicate the mistakes of my ancestors. I don't want to be a racist or a sexist. I don't want to be an ageist. I don't want to be prejudiced in any way. I don't want to be biased in any way. I want to be loving in every single way, every single day, every single second, every single thought I think, every single word that comes out of my mouth. I want it to be glorifying and honoring to you, Lord God. You're faithful and true. Every day you help me through my trials and tribulations. You never leave me or forsake me. You are the one who is helping me and guiding me. You are providing for me everything I need in this life and beyond. You always respond when I call to you for help. When I give you a yelp, I don't have to do this life but think or life by myself. Sometimes I feel washed up like help. I've gone through this before, getting trapped in the same old rhyme spirals. Lord God, help me out of those rhyme spirals. Yeah, I don't care whether or not I go viral. I don't care about being famous. I only care about making you famous. The only thing I see famous being useful for is a tool for spreading your word, spreading your love. Everywhere I go, I'm so glad that you keep on rolling like snow, the momentum increasing. You are getting the attention of the whole wide world with every miracle that you manifest on the daily. They don't always tell people about them in the news broadcast because they focus on the negative more than the positive. What's up with that? See, over time, Christians have lost hold of the media. That doesn't make any sense to me immediately. We should attempt to regain control of the media, concentrate on the seven spheres of society. That's how you have businesses of integrity. If people are operating with a mindset of honesty. You said, oh no man, nothing, neither a borrower or a lender be. That means the bank shouldn't charge interest and we shouldn't take out loans or use credit cards. That's usury if we charge more than somebody is borrowing from us. If we constantly increase the amount they owe us over time, depending on how long they take to pay it back, that's wrong in your books. We got to take a look and see how we can live debt free. You said when Peter came to you asking how many times he should forgive his brother who had wronged against him, you told a story of a man who owed a man a huge debt and he forgave him his debt, but then he turned around and shook his fist at a man who owed him a lesser debt and threw him into prison. When the other man found out, he threw him in prison and he had no opportunity for parole. Jesus said we should forgive 70 times 7. That doesn't mean when somebody has wronged you 491 times that you can stop forgiving them. We've got to live in forgiveness. We've got to live as if people's debts are being cleared, because our debts are being cleared on the cross. You suffered the loss of your blood for the sake of our redemption, so grace and mercy can pour down like a flood. Your love is everlasting, I'm basking in it. Praying and fasting is the key to deliver some people of demonic oppression or possession. I'm so glad I belong to you, Jesus El Shaddai, the many-breasted one, the all-sufficient one, who loves your sometimes deficient acting son, who sees the potential for redemption in him, who keeps on loving him, even when it feels like he's close to swimming in the lake of fire. You love me, Messiah, even when it feels like I'm going loopy. You can be my coupe, you can be the one who comes and rescues me, yeah. You got those chariots of fire to swoop down and rescue me. You got angels to feed me when I'm in the desert, like experience that I'm going through right now. When I'm suffering from the singleness disease, yeah, I know I gotta get out there and share myself with other people. I gotta share your love more than I talk about my own problems, cause you've got the solution to all problems, the answer to every question, every suggestion. Yeah, we shouldn't treat your orders like suggestions. Some people are trying to reinterpret them, saying it makes me sad when you tell me that the way I'm living my life is bad, the way I'm thinking is bad. But you are the one who helps us to be truly glad, not in the way that a bunch of people who say they represent glad are saying, but in true gladness, not gay, lesbian, and whatever else the ad stands for, but the true gladness, the true joy that comes from knowing you. You are the one who helps us. There's no substitute for your holy truth, Lord God. I don't want to act aloof from you. You are the one who enables me to overcome the world. I'm so grateful for your blood that you spilled for the sake of the world's redemption. There's no pretension in you. You help us to deal with the tension that we face on a daily basis. They may be deplatforming people. It doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever happened to freedom of speech? I think that we are losing it fast because they can't see how these social media platforms have become publishers, and publishers don't have the same rights of protection to be selective about what they allow on their websites, their networks. Lord God, help me not to act like a jerk when I'm going berserk on the microphone. I see that you alone can rescue me. You are the one who pulls me out of the infirmary. That mentality, that way I used to be when it feels like I've got no option but to sin. Lord God, help me to know that I've got an option to win. I've got an option to choose your way of living instead of the one that leads to doubts and misgivings, the one that leads to a guilty conscience. I can rest in your arms. I can rest on your lap, maybe, perhaps. I'm not even going down that road. I'm not saying maybe, or perhaps it's definite without a shadow of a doubt that you are the only way to heaven, the only route. Now I talk about what you have done in my life, the miracles that you have caused to occur, healing my sister's eczema, healing my guinea pigs when they were sick, getting me out of Indonesia when I thought I was going to be sleeping on the streets because only had enough money to borrow a phone to call my friend and beg her to come and get me back from the airport because my plane had left without me, because I didn't know that I had to check in. I fell asleep with my cup of coffee in my hand. I got to the counter just before the plane left, but they said that they couldn't let me on board because I missed my check-in. She kept me from being swindled by the airport officials when they wanted to charge me a departure fee. And she knew that wasn't their policy. They were just trying to exploit me because of where I came from. They thought I was a safety deposit box. They looked at me and their eyes went ka-ching. Dollar sign suddenly appeared. It was kinda weird. If I just adhered to the advice of my friend, then I wouldn't be in this predicament. I was full of fear because my sister had talked about people that had flown on Garuda and there had been a terrorist threat. So I was determined that I wasn't going to fly Garuda, and I thought that I was traveling Qantas back home. I had convinced myself that I was traveling in a different airline apart from the one that I was actually traveling on. It was crazy how I planted a false memory inside of my mind. That's possible. It's not just a book by Dean Koontz. He wrote his first novel with toilet paper. Lord God, you help us escape the ways of the world, the traps that we fall into every day, the traps that we potentially fall into every day. You help us to be a better way. You help us to take a different route. You help us even when we're spooked, even when the enemy surrounds us, when the wolves are getting closer to the sheep. You are there. You are deep. You are intelligent. You are always relevant to every single situation, to every single generation. Without a moment's hesitation, I would say that you, Yahweh, are able to save us from that slavish-like behavior, the way we used to be before we knew you deeply and intimately. I see my need for you was constant. You were vigilant, you were watching over me. You're a vigilante, you're a mercenary when it comes to the enemy. You help me to move in harmony with your heartbeat. You can never be defeated by the way of the world. I know that you are capable of loving this kid, of helping him to walk that redeemed path instead of the foolish one that he walked in the past. Thanks to you, your love will forever last. I'm just basking in your warm radiance. I'm just dancing with you, I'm just singing with you. I'm just bringing love offerings to you, sweet smelling incense to your nostrils. Using these skills to pay these bills, yeah. I haven't been able to prove that I'm capable of doing that yet, except for a minimal degree, when I'm able to find somebody who likes what I do as an MC. Somebody who is willing to buy my books every time I publish them. I gotta prove that I'm capable of getting more than one reader. I see that you were there for me. You are taking attention. You are. You were taking attention away from me. You are always there for me. You love me and you care for me. I just want to share your love with the whole wide world. I don't want to keep it to myself. I just want to love you with my whole heart. I want to be completely and fully devoted to you. Lord God, forgive me for those times when I wasn't completely and fully devoted to you, when I wasn't fully relying on you, when I wasn't dependent on God, when I wasn't that frog, when I wasn't that dog, Lord God. I pray until something happens. I know that you are the one who helps me when I'm scrapping, when I'm rapping, when I'm tapping. I see that you were there when it feels like I'm snapping off of the mouth with something I shouldn't have said. I know that you were risen from the dead, not like a zombie, cause zombies don't have brains. Never saw one riding round in a combi. Some said you were a vampire cause you drank blood, but when you were telling your homies, your disciples, your apostles to drink your blood, you were speaking spiritually. You weren't actually saying that you wanted them to drink your blood. After you die, you came back to life. You free us from trouble and strife. You bore those stripes so I can have my sins wiped clear like a windscreen wiper. Gotta be a fast typer to get out all the things that you were telling me. I see You were moving inside of me, you're the key to my freedom. Your love defies a reason, forgive me for my treason. The trees in the fields will clap their hands, they will sing and dance and celebrate you. King of kings and Lord of lords, Prince of peace, the Son of righteousness, rising with healing in your wings. I'm adopted as your offspring. You tower over my insecurities. Help me live a life of purity, even if I live a life of obscurity. That doesn't matter to me, because you are always there for me. You provide my every need. You open up the floodgates of heaven and pour out your blessings on me. I'm not stressing about what people think. Unless it's my parents, I gotta walk the route of obedience. Sometimes I feel that conflict when I love somebody and I know that you wouldn't disapprove of me being with them. It's just a social construct. The concept of age-appropriate relationships to some degree. If your body is capable of experiencing sexual intimacy, why can't it be like it was back in the day for those in the Jewish culture? Soon as you hit adolescence, get a ring slipped on your finger when you turn 13, and it's predetermined by your folks. Maybe they didn't know what a love marriage was. You can say they were missing out. You can say that wasn't the best route, but it worked for them. They didn't have problems with pornography, as far as I know. Your wits are sharp like an arrow, your eyes on the sparrow. You see my problems, you see my bone and marrow. You have the cure to every disease. I don't believe that somebody has to be married with children in order to be an elder, in order to be used by God, in order to speak His words of love to the world that is in desperate need for His salvation. You redeem every single nation. How can I maintain a spirit of procrastination? You are the source of my fascination. I don't do this just out of obligation, even though I feel obligated because you died on the cross for the sake of my salvation. So obviously I've got an attitude of gratitude when I think of all that you were giving up for me. Gave up your throne in heaven temporarily so you can dwell in an earth suit. God made flesh, fully man and fully God, never giving up your divinity when you were strolling amongst humanity. Blows my mind to think that there were certain things that you hid from yourself, like the day of your return. I guess that's 'cause you wanted people to live holy, not to take advantage of your grace. Only you know the reason why you hid the knowledge from yourself. Nobody knows the day or the hour you're coming like a thief in the night. Feels like I gotta update the metaphor 'cause we got robbed in broad daylight. I wanna be your delight. Lord, you're my delight. You help me out in this fight. Help me not to respond in fright. When people come and shatter my confidence about my residents and my neighborhood being safe, I don't let it stress me out because I've got you watching over me in everything I say and do. I was made to give you glory. Thank you, Lord, and you I have victory. You made the difference in my life story. Restore me into the person that you want me to be. Help me to be honest instead of lying. You were dying for the sake of the world's redemption. I wish that they would all know that. I wish that every false temple dedicated to Lucifer would burn down right now or just be abandoned. I wish that your house's worship would be full every single Sunday. And all the other meetings during the week, you are the one I seek. I know I don't have to go to a building because you don't just dwell in a house made of bricks and stone. I wanna worship you alone. You atone for my sins. I lay my life down before your holy throne. I know I left no stone unturned in my search for the one true religion, and I found it in the solid rock. Tick tock, the clock is ticking. Time is running out, the sand is almost trickled to the bottom of the hourglass. Our lives are precious, we don't know how much time we've got before our time is gone completely. We gotta use it wisely instead of foolishly. I know I don't always make the most of mine. I know I don't always respond in love. I gotta watch my tone because my tone doesn't know what sound loving. Sometimes I'm shouting and yelling. Sometimes I'm obeying. Sometimes I'm rebelling. Help me to quit straying. Help me to stay on the straight and narrow path. Help me to be righteous like you're righteous. Help me to be holy like you're holy. You said, be holy as I am holy. Be perfect as I am perfect. Pray without ceasing. And we may ask ourselves, how is it possible to do that? Because we're busy, we have to work 9 to 5, we have to do what it takes to survive. But in whatever we're doing, we can just talk to you. It's as easy as breathing. We don't necessarily have to do it out loud. We can do it in our thoughts. If we're working in a job where the people around us can't afford to be interrupted, where it's a life or death situation, where they require total silence in order to carry on the operations. It isn't always easy to stand up for truth. We may encounter opposition. We may be told that we can only say certain things. We can only do certain things in the workplace, but God is with us. Even in these limitations, He can still work through us. Every single life is at some point in time experiencing a crisis, and you were there for us. Like Peter said, you help us to give the answers when they're required. If people have been digesting a diet of worms all the days of their life, it may be surprising to them to recognize something more tasty in between their teeth, lips, and tongue. When we speak the truth, we're giving them a brand new diet. We're giving them something that they've never experienced before. Perhaps it's a refresher. Perhaps we're reminding them of what they experienced in the days of their youth and childhood. Helping them walk the path that's good. It isn't always easy to live a life of no compromise. It's too easy to get distracted. Too easy to get tempted. But you're there with us, guiding us, helping us to walk on the straight and narrow road. Helping us to put you first above everything else. Helping us to treat you with reverence. Lord God, you were diligent. Help us to be diligent. You were willing to intervene in all our lives. We can't act like you ain't an interventionist God when you're working miracles all the time. There isn't a dead to life. You're giving a blind sight. You are causing the mute to speak. You are causing the deaf to hear and the lame to walk. I gotta talk from experience. I can't talk about the life that I haven't experienced. I've gotta live out the life I'm singing in my songs. Otherwise, what's the point if people sing along if I don't follow after you too? Eventually, they will see that I lack fruit. That I have roots that don't go down too deep. They are planted by living water, bringing forth fruit in season. Your word has to be written on my heart. You never depart from me. Being part of my life for many years now. You were always faithful. You helped me out of my struggle. You helped me when I'm in the mud, oh, when I'm in the mud. Lotuses grow in mud. You make beautiful things out of ugly surroundings. You cause roses to grow from concrete. And you will find completion. And you will find everything I truly need. You help me to succeed. You intervene in my life. You come in between me and my problems. You help me to overcome them. We overcome the world by the blood of you, Lamb of God, and the word of our testimony. You never leave us lonely. You always call us homie. You are our creator and our savior. You are always holding on to us, helping us to live out our identity as children of God. Sometimes we get it twisted and act like we've got your job, but only you can sit on the throne. Only you can operate the universe. It's way too complex for us. It's impossible for us to be everywhere at once. Unlike you, it's impossible for us to know all things. Unlike you, you are all powerful, omnipotent, all knowing, omniscient. You were everywhere at once. Omnipresent, my ever-present, help in times of trouble. Omniscient, omnipotent. Lord God, I see that you have got me in your hands. You understand what's going on in my life. You see the trouble I faced in the past. You see the broken heart that I own. The one that's in the process of being mended. I don't want to be a pretender. It isn't easy to willingly surrender. Why do I keep on trying to tug my heart back again? I was no good being steward over it. Gotta be a good steward of the resources you've given me. This body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. You meant for my body to be used as a tool of worship of you, not of the devil. Gonna make hip-hop on a high level. See, thanks to you, I've got a hope and a future that never dies. You're the reason I'm alive. Thanks to you, I can't stop. Thanks to you, I can taste freedom. Taste and see that you are good. Even if I'm misunderstood by the world, you understand what I'm going through. You are the key to my breakthrough. Thanks to you, I've got hope for the future. I've got a love that never dies, a love that comes with no strings attached. It's the perfect match, you and I. You were the one I've been searching for my whole life. You were the one who sustains me, the one who remains with me, the one who satisfies my soul, the one who restores me and makes me whole. You console me when my heart is broken, when I'm at my wit's end, when it feels like I haven't got any friends, when it feels like all I've got is friends, but I've got no potential to ever have a lover, to ever have a wife. What can I discover when I see the world through your eyes? I can see it positively, not negatively. You were the key to my freedom. You were the key to a love that lasts forever. I endeavor to spread your love everywhere I go. You enable me to overthrow the world. The devil is crushed under your feet. You gave us authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and overcome all the powers of the enemy. You prepare a road ahead of me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. My endeavor is to see your name glorified, Messiah. You are victorious. You rule and reign in my life. You give me so much joy I can hardly contain it. I will never have enough jars to contain it. There isn't enough trees in the world to contain all your miracles in the books of the world. They can never write enough books to talk about your miracles. I can never say I love you enough. I can never be grateful enough. I can never be thankful enough. I can never say thank you enough. You were tougher than anybody in the world. You were tougher than the toughest man in the world. So much for the man that calls himself Mr. Universe. So much for the woman that calls herself Mrs. Universe. None of them are as strong as you. You can take them all on. You helped me to live a different kind of life than the way that I used to live before I knew you. I used to dabble in darkness. I used to think that horror movies were cool, but you changed my point of view. Because I saw that those kinds of movies were Satan worship. I don't want to be living a life of lip service. I serve a 7-day Jesus, so I should serve Jesus 7 days a week. He's the only one who's capable of freeing us. How can we live a life that's opposite to a life of hypocrisy? It's only through you, not through us. You give us the capability to resist the call of the enemy, the lure of the enemy, the manure of the enemy. He dresses it up to look so pretty. What's up with that? Why aren't our eyes opened? Why can't we all use discernment? If you've never been trained to see the world a different way, you will always see the world through the eyes of the profane. You remain with us. You give me so much joy it can hardly be contained. You heal brains. Your love just can't be explained. It has to be experienced. You said, blessed are those who believe without seeing. Sometimes I'm doubting a lot, Thomas. Sometimes I'm not always honest. You admonish me. You astonish me. Sometimes I don't receive your discipline with the right spirit. Sometimes I want to call it quits. Sometimes I feel like I'm ill-equipped to do what I love, even though I love to do it. I see that you have enabled me to overcome the world. You sit at the table with me, you're here with me. With all of these fallen leaves, you're here with me. When I grieve, you willingly receive me through the gates of paradise. Help me not to be prideful, because that is my downfall. I see that it's too easy to slip up. And why would I ever be arrogant when I've got so many problems? It's crazy how I wrestle with this ego, how it's such a monster inside of me. Why can't I just pull it out? Why can't I just crush it like a snowball with a hammer, with a sledgehammer, like Jeffrey Dahmer? Why can't I murder this beat like some of my homies do? Yeah, I know, I get the green-eyed monster. I get jealous, I get angry for no good reason. I need the righteous anger, not the wicked anger. I know there's a difference. Some people get it twisted. They get afraid to be angry in case their anger is the wrong kind of anger, in case they push people away from your arms by misrepresenting you, by being too harsh in the marshland. People are afraid sometimes of telling the truth in case they push people away, but sometimes the truth needs to be told, the truth needs to be heard. Actually, always the truth needs to be heard. It always needs to be spoken in love. Sometimes speaking the truth in love may look like harshness. Sometimes speaking the truth in love may look like hurtfulness, but it's helpful at the same time. Yeah, it can be helpful without being hurtful. I mean, it can be hurtful without being harmful. You are the one who helps us to overcome the world. You help us to overcome ourselves, to build a bridge and get over ourselves. We can be so egotistical, we can be so selfish, but you help us to head in a different direction, to be selfless instead of selfish. That doesn't mean that we have to kill ourselves. To talk about the death of self, they say we have to die to self, but that doesn't mean that our identity dies. Our identity is found in you. You use the parts of us that glorify you, and help us to crucify the parts of ourselves that don't give you glory. I have been crucified with Christ, so I no longer live, but Jesus Christ lives in me. In the life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians 2:20. Lord God, it feels like I'm running on empty sometimes, but you help me in every rhyme I write. I am excited to see what you're doing in my church, what you're doing in your body, the body of Christ, what you're doing all around the world, how you were working miracles all the time, people getting slain in the spirit. So glad you never quit it. So glad that you were giving us the knowledge of you. You were giving us the knowledge of truth. You take us to college in every single passing moment. How could I ever be ignorant of you? It's crazy to think that I could ever be ignorant of you, that I could ever choose to willfully ignore you and defy you. When I was raised in a Christian home, how could I turn my back on the way I was raised? It doesn't make any sense at all. How could I be a demon worshiper inside inside my soul. How could I pull demons out of my body to try and connect with somebody else? That was crazy how I walked that route, but you helped me to walk a different route. You were the one that I'm mad about, the one that I'm totally in love with, the one that I can't get enough of. Lord God, I want to be praising you non-stop. I love the fact that you've got me, you've got this kid, even though he messes up, even though he's stressed out of his brain cells. Lord God, you help him out, you help him to take a different route. You are mad about him, you are madly in love with him, you are crazy in love with him. You help him not to give up, even when the going gets tough, even when the waters get rough, because you are faithful and true. Every day your mercies are brand new, my strength is renewed by you. Thanks to you I can adopt a positive mental attitude, cause you died for the sake of my salvation. You died for the sake of redeeming every nation. This is my emancipation proclamation. Without a moment's hesitation I will say that I need you, Yahweh. The whole world needs you, Yahweh. Some of them just don't know it, that we need you more than breath, more than water, more than wind, more than earth, more than fire, more than electricity. I want you to be chief above all other desires for me and everybody else as well. Emmanuel, God with us. Making a fuss about this wealth because it seems like it's going down the toilet fast. Yeah, I don't know what's up with all of these people denying you, acting like they're your kids, but living a life that's opposite, living a life that's contrary. I know that they must be up with the fairies. I have walked in their shoes, so I know what it's like to live the life of a hypocrite, but I don't want to do that anymore. Lord God, help me in my struggle, help me to overcome the world. Though I may look a certain way outside, don't judge by the outside appearance, judge by the heart. That's how you judge us. See, only you know our hearts, and when I look at my heart, it shouldn't necessarily make me afraid. I know that I was made by you. I don't have to be a slave to fear no more. You help me in this war. You help me to come out on top for sure like cream. You turn my dreams into reality. Get rid of my thug mentality. Show me a better way to be. I can't say goodbye to those addictions that had a hold on me. Pornography, you no longer have to be my God. I don't have to be a slave to you no more. I belong to the Lord Jesus Christ, the one and only Savior of the universe. Got to flee from perverse thoughts. Got to flee from racist thoughts. I can make an excuse whenever that Adolf whispers in my ear, whenever that Adolf Hitler whenever that Adolf Hitler like spirit whispers in my ear, whenever it tries to make me like a Nazi, whenever it makes my thoughts turn nasty. You were there for me, you turn my heels around. You are the one who keeps me grounded, you are the one who saves me from whatever I'm bound up in. You help me to find my identity in you alone. I lay down my life before your holy throne. The stones be rolled away, rose from the grave. You proved that it was possible for you to rise from the dead. You proved that it was possible for you to resurrect us. You're doing it all the time, but we're not always aware of it. You're the one who's helping us not to call it quits. For this purpose was the Son of God manifest to destroy the works of the evil one. You help those with cardiac arrest. You help us to pass the test, to detest the way that we were before we knew you. You change our mindsets. Why do people buy the lie that it's okay to entertain sinful thoughts inside their minds? To have sex with people they're not married to inside their minds. It's crazy how we buy those lies. We are incapable of having original thought unless it's in this sense. We either agree with the thoughts of Satan or agree with the thoughts of Jesus Christ. We are incapable of having thoughts that come from any other source apart from a good or evil force, a good or evil being. God's got more angels on his team, so why would I scream in despair? Why would I be afraid when people threaten my life? When they threaten my peace and harmony, I know I'm going to a place where there is perfect harmony, where there is no sickness, where there is no sin, where there are people from all around the world praising and worshiping the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I can't wait to get to that place. I will be dancing on those golden streets. I'm safe from that molten heat. I don't have to retreat back into the person that I used to be. I don't have to shake in my boots just because I'm in a situation that I can't change. Just because I get frustrated trying to convince my parents that the one I love is the one I should be with. I know that you are with me in my struggle. You enable me to overcome the world. You come to my aid on the double. You know what troubles me. You help me to represent you well. I know, Emmanuel, you are always helping me out every day of my life. You've always been with me every day of my life. You've been sitting on my shoulders. Your angels have been sitting on my shoulders. Why do some people think that they will become angels when they die? It's crazy. I know I ain't gonna get wings and a halo when I die. I'm just gonna get a brand new body, a glorified body, a body that isn't capable of obtaining sickness or disease. Only a closer walk with you, an intimate fellowship with you that never dies. You gave some the fruit of the tree of the knowledge. You gave some the fruit of the tree of life. Its leaves were intended for the healing of the nations. Your salvation is like the leaves that were intended for the healings of the nations. The healing of the nations. Emancipation Proclamation. You are the one who is bringing salvation to every nation without a moment's hesitation. You don't do it out of obligation. You're such a sensation. You chose to endure the cross. You knew there was no other way. You cried tears of blood in the Garden of Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives. You died on a hill shaped like a skull because there was no other way on Golgotha. You paid the price on Calvary. You paid the price to save my life. You are so amazing, Lord. I love the way you bring every single nation underneath your wings. You are the one who brings us freedom from suffering. Some people are killed by the cops. Some people are living on the streets. Some people are running for their lives. Some people don't have no roof over their heads. Some people don't have no clothes. Some people are sick in hospitals. Some people are in prison cells. Emmanuel, I know you're capable of reaching them before they're at death's door. Even when they're at death's door, before they lose their breath, you are capable of bringing people into the situation, opening their eyes to the truth through television shows and books and music and the beauty of your creation. You give us imagination. You don't want us to be living in hibernation like a bear in a cave with its butt plugged up full of clay. Yahweh, you are faithful and true. Every day your mercies are brand new. My strength is renewed by you. I don't want to be odious to your nostrils like a dead rodent. For my soul, you're deodorant. I recant of the way that I used to think in the past. Help me to chant down Babylon. Your love will forever last. I'm having a blast with you. My cup is full and running over thanks to you, Jehovah. I can be an optimist and say that is being a realist, cause you are always capable of working miracles. So why would I be a pessimist? As long as I have breath, I know that you are capable of intervening in my life and the life of everyone around me. I won't make excuses for sinfulness. I know out of the overflow of the heart the mouth speaks. You said whatever is pure, whatever is noble, whatever is of good report, meditate on these things. As far as I can see, profanity and blasphemy can't be excused under the guise of Christian liberty. Cause I gotta take care of my spirit. Be careful what I feed it. Take heed of your word. I see my need for it is extreme. This issue is urgent. You rinse me like detergent. I've been washed clean by your blood. They talked about a church that was emergent, but the type of church that they wanted to emerge wasn't the kind that represented your church. It was more whorish than the faithful, pure, spotless bride you were waiting for. The one you were gonna sit at the table with. It was not the true church, it was a false church. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing, it was a clone. No, it was a replica created in a studio. It was a composite of false ideologies, a little bit of truth mixed with a whole bunch of lies. It never represented us. The whore of Babylon never represented us. You were the one who helps us to avoid walking down that reprehensible path, to be that glorious warrior bride, to be that faithful pure bride, that bride of Christ, the one who waits for you, who keeps a candle lit, who stays pure, who avoids the manure of the world, even if they say we're paranoid androids, even if they accuse us of being prudish. You didn't die so we could be androgynous. You didn't die so our ethnic distinctions could be completely obliterated. You died so they could be celebrated. You died so all culture could be used to glorify you, to raise a victorious war cry of what you did for us, of how you chose to die for the sake of the people that you love, those who were part of the vine and those who were outside the vine, those who were inside the sheepfold and those who were outside of the sheepfold. You hold onto us, you control our destinies, you bring out the gold in us, even if all we see is a lump of clay. Even if all we see is a lump of coal. And when we look at ourselves, all we see is ugliness. But you see the potential for success in us. You see the potential for beauty in us. Even when we don't see it in ourselves, we gotta see the world through your eyes. We gotta see everyone through your eyes. We can't disguise your love. We can't pretend like you don't exist. We can't pretend like there are many roads to heaven when you were the only road to heaven. We can't act like it's enough just to believe that God exists and not believe that you are the only way to heaven, Jesus Christ. We can settle for sloppy seconds. We gotta recognize our need for you is constant in the ever-passing moment. Lord God, I'm grateful for your atonement, that I can be one with you, Father, Spirit, Son with you. It's possible outside of you, it's impossible. Lord God, you defy what's logical. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can rap even though some say that I can't rap. I don't care what they say. All I care about is you, Yahweh. All I care about is making your name famous, telling the whole world about you everywhere I go. I love the fact that you were living inside of my soul. You were in control of my destiny, even when it seems like I'm inconsolable. I can be consoled by you. You were the one I consult. You silenced the revolt in me. You know the revolting nature of the sinful self that I once dwelt in. That old man that I used to be, you left him dead in the sea. I'm transformed on a daily basis by you. I present my body as a living sacrifice. I know how easily I get misled. I know you have been risen from the dead. Now you sped to my aid. Sick and I called out your name. You came straight away and provided help for me. You transformed my thoughts, turned my heels around so I can live unbound. I'm confounded by your love. I'm astounded by your love. I'm surrounded by your love. How could you love me even when I don't deserve it? Even when I'm far from perfect. Even when my motives may be seen as suspect. You redirect them. You redirect my attention from profane things onto holy things. You help me to live a life that's pleasing in your sight. A life you would be proud of. I'm proud to call you my heavenly daddy. So glad that you were living inside of me. Thanks to you, I've got hope for eternity. I know you live, never leaving me or forsaking me. Help me not to digest the leaven of the Pharisees. Act like I'm better than anybody else. Truth be told, I'm just better off than anybody who doesn't know you, who doesn't have you living inside their hearts. It doesn't mean I'm a better person in the sense that I'm superior to them. I'm just better off cause I know where I'm going in the future. You see, my need for you is constant. I'm obligated to give you praise because of what you've done for me. Ancient of days, I do this willingly because you spilled your blood for me. You were always working miracles, you were unstoppable. Can't be messed with, can't be messed around with, can't be defeated. Some said that you were dead, but they were lying to themselves cause you rose from the dead. You were dead once, your body was dead, but your spirit was alive. They could never kill your spirit, you will always survive. You are the one that they can't kill, the one who always feels, the one who I'm gonna meet on Zion's hill, Lion of Zion. I'm relying completely on you. I don't want to be defined of you. I don't want to exist outside of your will. I know I've done it too many times, but there's so many rhymes when I was living a life that was contrary to you. I don't want to be like that anymore. I abhor the way that I used to be. Help me to be a brand new me. Help me to be something other than a peeping Tom, something than a sleepless dude who just spends way too much time on the internet, way too much time full of regret, way too much time filling my head with junk instead of filling it with the treasure of you. My endeavor is to see your name glorified, Holy Lord. I see Prince of Peace. You are able to work miracles in every single life. You bring back families together that are divorced. You heal the sick. You are always manifesting your miracles. You are helping kids who are illiterate to learn how to read. Even adults who are illiterate, you are helping them to learn how to read. You are helping us not to be impeded by our apparent limitations, helping us to transcend beyond them, helping us to be brand new people. Thanks to you, we can do good and not evil. We don't have to be the way that we used to be. We are the church and the steeple, our hearts are the ark of the covenant. I rave and rant cause I see the way this world is going right now, and I know that I need for you is constant. I see that you are able to work in every single life. You are able to intervene in our lives, even when it feels hopeless and helpless. It's never truly hopeless and helpless, cause you are the rope that pulls us out the well of despair. You are always there. You are the chairman of the board, the B-O-A-R-D, the R-O-C-K, who supplies my breath, who gives me life after death. Why did Anne Rice get it so twisted? She didn't see that you are the many-breasted one, the all-sufficient one. You are father and mother, both at once. Why do people think that you were just masculine? You were feminine as well. You said not to pour new wine into old wineskins. Thanks to you we can win. Thanks to you we can be genuine. Your heart is broken when you see babies being dismembered inside the womb. Babies experiencing the womb as a tomb. It should never be that way, Yahweh. You were weeping rivers for the sake of those kids. You see that they need to be delivered to reach full term. They need to live a life, a good life. They need to be adopted into families that love them even if the mother don't love them. From the moment of conception, she is their mother. What can we discover if we learn to see the world through your eyes? Sun down to sunrise, I see my need for you is constant. You are evangelizing the world. You are working through all of us. You were giving us dreams and visions of you. You said all men will dream dreams and young men will see visions. Guide my thoughts and decisions. Even if I face derision, you were able to operate my life with precision. I put you in the driver's seat, free from conceit. I can't be discreet when it comes to what you did for me. I don't care if they give me a volley of expletives. I will still praise you for all eternity, because you were gouging that maternity, that paternity gown. You were the one who brought me out. You were watching over me before I was an idea conceived in the mind of my mama and father to get together and have me. You were making sure that I reached full term. You were watching over me during that period of gestation. You were able to redeem every nation. You are the one who loves us. You are the one who is always leading us and guiding us, providing for us with no fuss. We have a lot to discuss. When we get to heaven, my head is buzzing with questions right now, but They will all be silenced by the sight of your glorious face. I will be prostrated in worship to you. I will be jumping for joy just to make it up there. You answer on my prayers. You care for me better than anybody else in the universe. You redeem me from Satan's curse. You disperse angels to come to our aid. You got plenty treasure in your purse, plenty spare body parts to replace those limbs that have been cut off. When they're severed, we remember that our connection to you is never severed. You are so kind and clever. Help us not to live like we're separate from you, 'cause we can never be separated from you, even when we're in hell. But what we need is that peace that comes from knowing we're working in your will. We're not agreeing with the mindset of the enemy. We are careful in what we speak. We are careful in what we think. We are careful in what we do. We've got to walk in your will. You spilled your blood for the sake of the redemption of us. There is no pretension in you. You are a confidant. I don't know if you look at me. Do you see your face or do you see my sins? You see a child who has been covered in your blood, covered in your love. You see the potential for redemption in me. You see me in my filthiness. You see me in my ugly mind state, and you still use me anyway. Peace out.